Attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
All right, the most powerful man in the world lives in that house. He must have been happy last night because power was the story of last night's game. Tonight, it's time for baseball again as Benjamin Moore presents the Wednesday game of the week. It's the New York Yankees against the Washington Nationals in the second game of a two-game set from Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. The Yankees lost a game yesterday by a score of 8-6 in 10 innings, but that wasn't the biggest loss of the night.
Now the biggest loss of the night, Jacoby Ellsbury swung and missed at a changeup inside, and the reaction right away, a little bit of problem in that right knee. It's classified as a sprained knee. He goes on the disabled list. A big loss for the Yankees. Brett Gardner will get a chance to lead off tonight. Going to be a tough guy to replace at the top of the lineup.
Let's take a look at the injury report brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center, Inspired Medicine. So Ellsbury goes on the 15-day DL with a right knee sprain. Chase Whitley placed on the 60-day DL because he had Tommy John surgery, and that made room on the 40 for Slade Heathcott, and he moved into the 25 spot vacated by Ellsbury. So Heathcott, a former first-round draft pick from the Yankees, called up from AAA. Tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by People's United Bank N.A. See what know-how can do for you. Jordan Zimmerman will go for the Nationals, and for the Yankees, Adam Warren will try to get the win to split this series. Well, there's the Supreme Court. They are not going to decide tonight's game. The lineups will. Lineups, first pitch baseball. Yankees, Nationals next on Yes. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Cherry 5-Hour Energy Shots, helping support Special Operations Warrior Foundation, by your local Acura dealer, and by RE/MAX. Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX. Beautiful day and now evening here in Washington, D.C. Crowd filing into Nationals Park. The Nationals have taken the field. They are the hottest team in baseball. Yankees will try to stop that with this starting lineup, which is presented by Lexus. Brett Gardner will lead off. He'll play left field. Batting second and playing right field, Carlos Beltran. Mark Teixeira at first base will hit third. Cleaning up the catcher, Brian McCann. Chase Headley at third base bats fifth. Batting sixth, playing second base, Stephen Drew. Chris Young in center field, he'll bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, D.D. Gregorius. No DH in National Park, so Adam Warren, the pitcher, will bat ninth.
Well, manager Joe Girardi sending that lineup out against a veteran right-hander, Jordan Zimmerman. We'll look at his numbers in the year. He's gotten off to a pretty good start, 3-2, 3.66 ERA. And we'll look at our pitcher scouting report, which is brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. 60 and counting, 60 wins. That is the most in Nationals history. And and he's done a great job against right-handed bats. Mookie Betts hit a home run on April 13th. That is the only extra base hit that a right-handed hitter has had off of Zimmerman this year. And a winning combination when Wilson Ramos behind the plate and Zimmerman hook up, they're 14-1, and Zimmerman's own personal record 11-0 with a 1.8 with Ramos behind the plate.
So Zimmerman has finished with his warm-ups, and replacing Jacoby Ellsbury at the top of the Yankee lineup is Brett Gardner, although he remains in left field today with Chris Young playing center. So Gardner getting ready in the batter's box, doing some housekeeping, a couple of practice swings. And this will be the final game of a mini 2-game set. Gardner is ready. Zimmerman is ready. And let's do it here in D.C. First pitch is a strike. We're underway. Marvin Hudson is the home plate umpire. Chris Siegel at first, Chad Fairchild at second, and crew chief Jim Joyce is over at third. Gardner 6 hits and 28 at-bats on this road trip, which has not been kind to the Yankees, losing 3 of 4 in KC. Check that, 3 of 4 in Tampa Bay, 2 of 3 in KC in the first game here last night.
Losing 6 out of their last 7, and will not get any easier tonight against Zimmerman. Good fastball, slider, and a curveball. One of the best pitchers on this national staff for years. Yankees trying to break a little losing slide, trying to get back home.
One of the cool images at this ballpark, where we're really up above the home plate area, is that you see out beyond left center field and you see people getting off the train and just filing in, and that goes on for the first couple of innings, really. Nice sight. 2-2 now on Gardner.
Now, is it technically the train or the metro?
The metro.
Get you in on the DC lingo, Mike.
That one is looped into right field. It is a base hit. So Gardner leads off with a single here in the first. Why don't we check out the Nationals defense, which is presented by Geico. You've got Moore in left tonight, Span in center, and Bryce Harper over in right. In the infield, it's Escobar, Desmond, Espinoza, and Zimmerman, third to first. Ramos behind the plate. And Jordan Zimmerman, no relation to the first baseman, is on the mound. Here's Carlos Beltran, who moves into the number 2 hole, and he takes outside. You can see what one injury does to a lineup. A lot of roles change.
Obviously, Beltran moves into the number 2 slot. Drew now is hitting 6th. A couple of hits last night. Let's see if Brett Gardner can pick up the slack here. Ellsbury going on the DL. A little base hit to lead things off.
That one is lined into right center field. It is a base hit. It gets past Span, and it goes to the wall. Gardner will score easily. Beltran's at second with an RBI double, and the Yankees are on the board first.
Good start for the Yankees. Jordan Zimmerman just coming out very proud of his fastball. Every pitch has been number 1. Beltran takes advantage of it and hammers this to right center. Span cannot knock it down. I think he expected that ball to bounce up a little bit higher. Once it gets past him, Gardner will score easily all the way from first. The Yankees are on the board.
And that double extends Beltran's hitting streak to 11 straight. And here's Mark Teixeira. Swings at the first pitch and grounds it to Zimmerman. That moves Beltran over to third. Really lovely evening here in D.C., but we'll look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. Give you the specifics. 72 degrees, 10 miles per hour is the wind. Humidity is 38%. It's partly cloudy, but it is indeed pleasant. It's 10 degrees cooler than yesterday. So the Nationals bring the infield in for Brian McCann. 3 infielders on the right side. 8 of 10 times he's gotten the runner in from third with less than 2 outs. Now Beltran could get a big lead because the third baseman's playing so far away from the bag. Fly ball, medium range center, tagging is Beltran. Span makes the catch. Here's the throw. Here's the play at the plate. Beltran's in there, a sac fly from McCann. 2-0 Yankees.
Well, nice job of situational hitting by Brian McCann. Mark Teixeira gets a little bit of credit for advancing Beltran to third base. The Yankees take advantage here in the first inning, an early 2-0 lead. Nice job all the way around. McCann getting congratulations, and Mark Teixeira should get some as well.
Here's Chase Headley. 1-0. As to be expected, teams and players are able to shake off tough losses. And that was a tough loss yesterday. The Yankees led 6-2. They ended up losing the game 8-6. And Andrew Miller, who's been untouchable this year, finally cracked and gave up that walk-off home run to Ryan Zimmerman. 3-0 now on Headley. That was a strike. Count 3-2 as Headley was taking off his shin guard.
Looked like a little bit of slider. Marvin Hudson, the home plate umpire, with the call. Looked like it was down.
Swing and a miss. Headley down on strikes, but the Yankees jump out with 2 runs on 2 hits. Nobody left on base. It's the Yankees 2. Nationals coming to bat. Jordan Zimmerman, now Adam Warren will try to hold it. We'll take a look at the Nationals starting lineup. Denard Span in center field will lead off. Batting second, the shortstop Ian Desmond. Yunel Escobar at third base will hit third. Cleaning up right fielder Bryce Harper. Ryan Zimmerman, the hero last night. The first baseman bats fifth. Batting sixth and catching with a 19-game hitting streak. Wilson Ramos. Tyler Moore is in left field at bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing second base, Danny Espinosa. And the pitcher is Jordan Zimmerman. He's going to bat ninth.
Well, that is a lineup for the Nationals that threw up 8 runs last night. So Adam Warren will have his hands full this evening. And his numbers will be his 8-star, 2-2, 4.50 ERA. And we'll look at our pitcher scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. This is a pressure start for him. The Yankees have lost 6 out of the last 7. It all starts on the mound. He's got to stop the bleeding. And he's coming off a strong Tampa start his last time. 7 innings, 7 strikeouts. The last 5 innings of that game were shutout baseball for Warren. And the changeup has been a great pitch, holding lefties to a 182 batting average overall his last 4 starts. The changeup, a big reason why.
Both the Yankees and the Nationals tied atop their respective divisions. Nationals and the Mets in the National League East, Yankees and the Rays in the American League East. Warren deals. There's a strike. Well, the Yankees are hoping that they get reinforcements in the starting rotation on Thursday. Masahiro Tanaka will make a rehab start. Ivan Nova is on the way as well. And I think Capuano and Warren realize that their jobs are probably in jeopardy. Grounded to short. Gregorius gets spanned. And the better you pitch, the better chance you have of sticking. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense presented by Geico. Gardner, Young, and Beltran in the outfield. Left to right. In the infield, it's Headley, Gregorius, Drew, and Teixeira. Third to first. McCann behind the plate, and Adam Warren's on the mound. Nationals 23-17. The Yankees 22-18. So in an eye blink, John, 25% of the season done. And the 0-1. 0-2.
The toughest team for a club like the Yankees when you're struggling, losing 6 out of 7, to realize you're still tied for first place in your division. Obviously, the Nationals on the other side have been playing great baseball lately. They've gotten into a tie in the National League East. The one thing I felt last night here watching the Nationals play, they're down 6-2. There was just a sense of calm about that club. Matt Williams has them moving in the right direction. They get behind. It's not a big deal. They'll find a way to fight back. And they'll be tested again tonight, down 2 early.
One of their last 20 games, John, they're playing 800 balls, 16-4 for the best record in the major leagues during that time. That started on April 28th. After starting the season 7-13. Check swing.
And everybody assumed the starting rotation would be the strength of this club. Strasburg has gotten off to a tough start. There are the numbers over the last 20 games. 6.7 runs per game.
Fly ball deep center. Young back. Still back. Turning. Looking. See. A long home run for Ian Desmond. And the Nats are on the board. Yankees lead 2-1.
Michael, you mentioned last night that Desmond has 11 errors on the year as a shortstop. An incredibly high number at this point in the season. But he's starting to swing the bat a little bit now. Last night hit home run number 3. This is going to be home run number 4. Just to the right of dead center field. And we noticed this last night, the ball carrying out that way.
Cleared the wall by plenty. Had to be about a 430-foot home run. Here's Yunel Escobar. 1-0. The 2-0. 3-0. And the 3-0. Walked him on 4 pitches. Not a good thing to do when Bryce Harper's coming up next. And a quick conference between McCann and Warren. Let's take a look at the Honda League leaders. And he's 1 behind Nelson Cruz for the Major League home run lead. So Cruz with 16, Harper 15 and 3 tied. One of those 3 marked Teixeira with 12. Hit a home run in the first inning last night.
Well, he hit that home run. He also walked, and then he also had a tough time against the 3 lefties out of the Yankee bullpen. Double play against Wilson, struck out against Shreve, and then struck out against Andrew Miller. And the number's 336 with 15.
Harper leads the major leagues in runs scored with 37, ribbies with 38, walks with 37, on-base percentage 474, slugging percentage 737, and OPS 1.212. And you see what he's done in the last 12 games, where he's reached base safely in all of them. 535, 10 homers in 12 games. Yankees shift for Harper, although the shortstop kind of behind second base. He's not on the second base side. And Headley halfway between third and second.
There's a difference right there. A good changeup that just drifts off the plate, down and away. Bryce Harper does not even flinch. You mentioned the walk totals, Michael. I mean, that's a difference. A young hitter now graduating to the next level, learning the strike zone, not expanding out of the strike zone. Looks like the Yankee dugout already talking about balls and strikes a little bit. Pitching coach Larry Rothschild was thrown out of last night's ball game. So difficult when you have a hitter who's locked in like this, as Zimmerman waiting on deck, who does not expand out of the strike zone. You have to make pitches that are out over the plate. If you do, that feeds right into his power.
Ground ball to first. There's one. Throw to second. Not in time as Escobar in ahead of the tag.
Good pitch by Adam Warren, does not give in, goes with that changeup that I talked about in the scouting report, which does a good job to neutralize the lefties. Teixeira steps on first base, the throw to Gregorius, not in time. Make sure of the out. Good accurate throw, didn't have a whole lot on it. Escobar sliding in. We'll get a look at the replay. A lot closer than I thought. Good changeup, good action down and away. Bryce Harper thought it was going to be foul.
Yankees stalling there so they could take a look at the replay. They will not challenge. And here is last night's walk-off hero, Ryan Zimmerman. His nickname is actually Mr. Walkoff. And John gave you the stat last night, 10 walk-off home runs. Hard to comprehend.
Look at the batting averages down, 5 home runs after that one last night, but 31 RBIs, respectable at this point of the season. Coming into this series last night, you hear about Bryce Harper all the time. Look at the rest of this lineup. Escobar hitting over 330. Zimmerman with the 30-plus RBIs. Ramos behind the plate, a hitting streak. Very balanced offensive attack.
Kind of a wave through that one. Well, the most walk-off home runs in National League history. Stan the Man Musial with 12. Tony Perez of the Big Red Machine 11. And then 4 are tied with 10. Zimmerman with Schmidt, Pujols, and Barry Bonds. And those are the active walk-off guys, including American leaguers. Two, 1. 3 and 1. Zimmerman walks. So 2 walks here in the first inning for Warren. After the Yankees gave him a 2-0 lead. It's 2-1 now after the Desmond home run. And he's got to face one of the hottest hitters in baseball, Wilson Ramos. And that leads us to the Chrysler hitter scouting report for Wilson Ramos.
Ramos having an incredible year, 19-game hitting streak and counting, and he's the franchise leader for home runs by a catcher with 46. Not just an offensive player, an all-around game. He's thrown out 29% would-be base stealers this year. The catcher's ERA 3.51. Remember this winter doing a show for our producer Jared Brosnick, the Hot Stove Show. He wanted me to rate the top 5 catchers in all of baseball. Remember looking at the numbers for Ramos. He was just out of that top 5. It tells you what type of a player he has been, kind of underrated, doesn't get a whole lot of attention. Now with this hitting streak approaching 20 games, he'll get some recognition for that for sure.
McCann, another conference with Warren. Well, the starter didn't go 5 innings yesterday. Although tomorrow is an off day, you don't need to be making up that many innings out of the pen again. So Warren has to find it. He's at 25 pitches here in the first inning. Two and 0.
Ramos extended that hitting streak last night on a 3-0 fastball, hit a home run, 2nd of the year. Obviously swinging a hot bat, but getting himself into some good hitters counts.
Popped up, right side. Drew makes the catch, and that will do it. But the Yankees have been unable to control Ian Desmond in the first inning. Last night, he goes the other way for his first home run of the series. And today, this one almost a dead center, easily clearing the wall. It's 2-1 Yankees as we go to the second. Conversation brought to you by Toyota. Toyota is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. We started the conversation with this: should Major League Baseball stop having pitchers bat in National League parks and use the DH universally? Why or why not? Don Ferduch says yes, no one wants to see pitchers bat. Also, with interleague play every day, it makes more sense for a universal DH. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Camry Hybrid to keep the conversation going. Now, part of the conversation that sometimes isn't explored, John, is that National League teams are at a disadvantage in American League ballparks because they really don't have a DH type on their roster. So all of a sudden, that pinch hitter, per se, is getting 4 at-bats a game, so they're weaker than an American League lineup.
Yeah, but we saw it last night. The Yankees are weakened coming here.
Yep.
You know, Alex Rodriguez doesn't get the start. He went in later on. Beltran didn't get the start. He went in later on. There's so many different thoughts on it, but last night was a game where we're sitting here doing it, and there's so many different moves and double switches, and there's a lot more strategy, and the managers are involved more. So if you're a fan who's into that, and obviously you like the National League style of play with the hitters or the pitchers hitting.
And, we could debate this forever, and I think that Major League Baseball loves that it gets debated. I don't think it's ever changing. They're not going to one rule. That one is chopped back to Zimmerman to retire Drew. I would say, though, and see if you agree, John, that the American League team is probably at a greater disadvantage in National League ballparks because pitchers don't hit anywhere other than the National League, and there's one league in Japan. But in the minors, they're all DHs, so they probably haven't picked up a bat since high school.
I spent a year and a half in the National League, and you think about so many different things when you're behind the plate. Who are the pinch hitters? Is this a situation where a manager will pinch hit?
Ground ball to third as Chris Young is out.
Double switches. All these things are going through your head in the middle of a game, the fourth, fifth inning, depending on how your pitcher is doing. Just a lot more brain and mental work. Joe Girardi obviously spending plenty of time in both leagues as a manager and as a player.
Well, here's Didi Gregorius, 2 for 19 on this road trip, hitting .204. 1-0. Line drive, a base hit for Gregorius. He'll make the turn, and that's big in a National League ballpark because now you've cleared the pitcher for the next inning.
Well, it's exactly right, Michael. And again, it goes back to my point. When you're behind the plate, you're thinking about these things. You want to attack the number 9 hitter, try to get him out. So obviously the pitcher will lead off the next inning. Should be an easy first out.
This will be Warren's first major league at bat.
It's all fun and games. Adam Warren gets his first big league at bat. You have everybody in the dugout paying attention. You love for him to get a hit. And more importantly, just don't get hurt, whether it's at the plate or trying to run the bases.
And Warren down on strikes. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It's 2-1 Yankees. special night at Yankee Stadium on Sunday when the Yankees take on the Rangers. Prior to the game, the Yankees will celebrate the career of four-time world champion Bernie Williams with a special ceremony where the Yankees will retire his number 51 and dedicate a plaque in historic Monument Park. For tickets, visit Yankees.com or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849 and do that today. Adam Warren, a rough first inning. Now face the bottom third of the order for the Nationals, starting with Tyler Moore. And there's a strike. Nationals without Jason Worth, who's on the DL with a left wrist contusion. Fly ball, center field. Young makes a correction and makes the play. Took a step in first, one down. And here is Danny Espinosa. They plan to pull three infielders on the right side. And the first pitch is strike on the outside corner. 0-1.
You watch Espinosa's switch hitter. When he hits from the left side, it looks like everything is trying to get the bat head out and pull. Does have some power, 5 home runs.
That one is looped into center field. It's over the head of Gregorius. It's a base hit for Espinosa. That will bring up Zimmerman. Has 3 ribbies, 2 for 16. And he bunts. Back to Warren. So the sacrifice successful, 1-4 as Espinosa moves to second.
Well, you see all the national pitchers before regular batting practice working on their bunting off a pitching machine, cranked up to a high velocity. Perfectly executed right here by Zimmerman. Easy play.
That one gets away from McCann as Espinosa moves to third.
We'll take a look at Brian McCann. It's a curveball, and he just leaves his chest a little bit straight up. Doesn't have an angle to deaden the ball towards the ground. Ricochets off towards the national dugout. Runner advances.
Scored a wild pitch. So runner on third with 2 outs. Yankees lead 2-1. Popped up. Left side. Long run for Gregorius, and he makes the play to end the inning. No runs to hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the third. Yankees 2, Nationals 1. TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, a pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Blackout restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Brett Gardner leads off. Led off the game with a single. Came around to score. Audi A3 scoreboard. Yankees 2 and the Nationals 1. Fly ball left center. And Moore makes a diving play. Miscommunication between Moore and Span. And it was tougher than it had to be.
Well, Denard Span can laugh a little bit about it now that the play was made. As Moore comes in, you're right, a little miscommunication. Has to lay out for it. Looked like a routine fly ball that turned into an adventure. Gardner gets beat with the fastball. Span coming on. Moore makes the call. Makes the play.
Beltran takes outside 1-0. Beltran with an RBI double in the first. Some smiles. When they catch it, you can smile.
You can smile. Last night we watched Gio Gonzalez pitch for the Nationals. The first 3 innings worked really quick, throwing a lot of strikes, and now you watch Zimmerman doing the same thing. Really attacking with his fastball. Doesn't waste any time out on the mound.
He goes around, and Beltran down on strikes.
I talked about it last night, and I would talk about it tonight. As a hitter, you feel like you're on your heels a little bit when a hitter is, or a pitcher is working this quickly, and you see the check swing. Jim Joyce, third base umpire, with the call. Yankees did a good job off of Gonzalez, slowing him down, stepping out. We'll see if they do the same thing against Zimmerman.
And a strike to Teixeira. Teixeira with a slow roller right side, and they just get him for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. Coming up in the bottom of the third, one of the best young players in baseball, 22-year-old Bryce Harper, 15 home runs, leads the world in most categories. How will the Yankees attack him? Coming up next. Those were the very early thrills of the Yankees, presented by Pepsi. Upload your Yankees pride using hashtag YankeesThrill for your chance to win an exclusive Yankee experience. Go to Yankees.com/YankeesThrill for more information. Ian Desmond will lead it off against Adam Warren. Homer in the first inning. Takes a big cut there, 0-1. Audi A3 scoreboard, 2-1 Yankees lead. Two on Desmond.
And you watch Desmond hit. We've seen a couple of home runs go to center field and right center the last couple of nights. And this at bat, he's looking to cheat a little bit on the inner half, maybe expecting the Yankees to pound him inside with the fastball. They have not.
Strike three. Desmond down looking.
It looked like he was looking for a pitch inside that entire at bat, and he did not get it. Change up before this, now a slider middle of the plate. Just gets caught guessing.
Escobar really moves up in the box. His front foot is on the front line. That's the opposite of most hitters as he fouls that off. So he's obviously got a lot of faith in his quick at bat, and he catches a breaking ball a little bit early.
It's amazing how much careers change. Escobar came up as a slick fielding shortstop, and you see up in the front of the box like Michael's talking about. Now all of a sudden he's playing third base here in Washington, hitting over .330.
Nationals are only going to get better, John, when they get Anthony Rendon back. He's out since March 27th with a left knee sprain. Still 1-2. Two and two on Escobar. Just got a piece. Strike three. Escobar down looking.
Well, it was a good combination. The pitch before was a slider inside. Adam Warren comes back with a fastball in. A nice catch by Brian McCann, bringing it back up into the strike zone. Pitch before was right at his front hip and was a slider to the inner half. That a good fastball running in.
Here's Harper. Harper yesterday hit his 15th home run. That was in the first inning. We mentioned he's 22 years old. And he hit it in the Nationals' 40th game of the year. The only other players in big league history younger than 23 who hit 15 homers before their team's 41st game of the season. Eddie Matthews did it in 1953. He was 21 for the Milwaukee Braves. And Harmon Killebrew in 1959, 22 for the Washington Senators in their 37th game. Some barking going on. And now Matt Williams has been thrown out. I don't know if it's Matt Williams or Bryce Harper. So Marvin Hudson throws out one of the most popular young players in the game. And you have to wonder what Harper said.
Well, Harper looked like he was not happy with the first strike, thought that slider was down, had some comments from Marvin Hudson. But then all of a sudden it looked like they were talking about the batter's box, and maybe Hudson told him to get back in the box, and that's where this whole thing escalated to. Well, the Yankees will say thank you very much.
Well, let's see the pitch. Now Matt Williams has been thrown out. Well, that was called the strike, and Harper didn't like it. So now Williams is going to get his money's worth. He was walking away, and he got thrown out. Little Billy Martin. John, I got to tell you, I don't think that any umpire should be subject to constant verbal abuse. I don't. But you're throwing out Bryce Harper when about 35,000 people came here to see Bryce Harper. You're throwing him out in the third inning.
This is where Marvin Hudson's saying, get back in the box right now. And you see Bryce Harper rushes up there, had another comment for him, and now he's gone. I do agree with you, Michael. I think there are different players who get a little more leeway than other players would.
Now here's Williams getting tossed.
Now I have a problem with this. Matt Williams was walking back to the dugout. Didn't look like he was continuing the conversation at all. And there was a little hesitation there before Hudson threw him out.
So Michael Taylor is going to pinch hit now for Bryce Harper. And Matt Williams channeling a little Billy Martin. So he takes over with an 0-1 count after the ejection. I can assure you, unless he left some tickets for friends, nobody in this ballpark came to see Marvin Hudson. Just nobody did. Again, I don't know what Bryce Harper said, but short of threatening him, that's a little harsh to throw out one of the game's best players. Strike three. And the crowd is on Hudson. As Warren strikes out the side, all three looking as the Nationals go down in order. We go to the fourth. Yankees 2, Nationals 1. fourth inning. A little interesting there in the bottom of the third as Bryce Harper and manager Matt Williams get thrown out. Michael Taylor takes over in right field for Harper. And Brian McCann will lead off against Jordan Zimmerman.
Brian McCann had a front row seat for all those festivities.
And he bunts the other way against the shift, and he picks up a base hit. So a sac fly in the first, and he picks up a bunt single against the shift.
Well, that batting average creeping down under 230, and Brian McCann's going to take everything that the Nationals defensively will give him. They want to shift. Give him a bunt base hit. He's going to take advantage of it.
And a strike. Strike two on Headley. Headley did not like a strike two call that Hudson made in the first inning and then struck out. After that, he thought he had walked on a 3-1 pitch. One and two. Headley strikes out.
Back-to-back at bats for Headley. Does not like that slider down and in. Good sharp break from Jordan Zimmerman. Is that slider going in the combination with that good fastball? Tough pitch to hit right there. Just falling right out of the strike zone.
Stephen Drew takes outside. One. McCann held it first by Ryan Zimmerman, former Gold Glove winning third baseman, who has to move over to first because of throwing problems with a bad shoulder. Drew hits one to left field. Moore is there, makes the play. 2 outs. Here's Chris Young. Some people thought that Slade Heathcott would get the start. Heathcott called up to replace the injured Ellsbury, left-handed batter. But they go with Young, righty against righty. As Young grounded to third in the second.
What a great story for Heathcott. First day in the major leagues. A long road to get here.
Plays the game with unbelievable abandon. Sometimes gets himself hurt. He's had knee problems, had both shoulders operated on. Actually was designated for assignment at the end of last year and wasn't signed by anybody and signed a minor league deal with the Yankees. Had a great spring training. And here he is. As Young grounds out to short for the force. No runs a hit. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 2-1 Yanks.
Cardinals Park. I'm Meredith Morakovitz. Michael, you were talking a little bit about Slade Heathcott, who was called up when Jacoby Ellsbury went on the DL. Well, he was non-tendered, keeping him off that 40-man roster at the end of last season, and he told me during the interview for the batting practice show today that he thought that was it. He thought that he may never get an opportunity to play baseball again, let alone play here for the New York Yankees. He wasn't signed by the Yankees again until January, and really any team could have signed Slade Heathcott at that point. He signed a minor league deal with the Yankees, and one of the biggest things for him was staying healthy. He had 2 major knee surgeries, a shoulder issue, and as of November, he was still having terrible pain in his knee. He actually found a new trainer in Orlando that kind of changed his program and did some things for his knee, able to him to get back and be healthy again for the first time in a long time. And really, he opened up some eyes during spring training again. They didn't know what they were going to get from Slade Heathcott anymore, but he was the winner of the Dawson Award in spring training, hitting over 300, and continued that success up into the minor leagues. And he told me yesterday when he got the call from manager Dave Miley, it was just surreal. He was holding his 3-month-old son while he got that phone call and just couldn't believe it.
Well, we will probably see Slade for sure over the weekend. Might see him later tonight, so he'll get to experience his dream. Ryan Zimmerman strikes out looking, 4 strikeouts in a row. The looking variety by Warren. You see the Lincoln scoreboard, 2-1 Yankees lead. I know that Joe Girardi was very impressed by him in spring training. He opened a lot of eyes again. He was a non-roster invitee, a former #1 draft pick, but injuries really derailed him. And here he is.
I remember years ago in Tampa, Florida, and Gene Michael was standing behind the batting cage, and he came over to me and he said, "John, pay attention to this kid, Slade Heathcott." He said, "The ball sounds different off his bat. It jumps off his bat." And the Yankees were so excited about what he could be, and then Meredith already detailed the last couple of years of injury problems and fought his way back. So the Yankees getting a little return on their investment now, and it'd be fun to see what he turns out to be up here. You never know.
Ground ball is short. Gregorius gets Ramos. I was reading a story that Joel Sherman of the New York Post wrote a couple of years ago, and he detailed the story that then Yankee hitting coach Kevin Long, watching guys in the batting cage, a guy hits a long fly ball, and he sees a guy flying out of nowhere in the outfield, crashing into the wall, making the catch. And it was Heathcott. And he spoke to Heathcott. He said, "Slade, in spring training, his batting practice can't do that." He said, "I'm sorry." He said, "My grandfather's 60 years old. He works 2 jobs. A lot of people I know work 2 jobs." He said, "I'm playing baseball. I got to play it hard." He said, "I just can't not play that way." Tyler Moore takes a strike.
First thing I think of right there, and New York Yankee fans will love that.
Hard-nosed, gritty.
And I say, you never know what these kids are going to turn out to be. I mean, how many players get called up to the big leagues? You don't think a whole lot about it. And the next thing you know, they get hot for 2 weeks. And they find their place.
The 1-1. 2-1. Yankees lead 2-1. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nats have 2 hits, the Yankees 4. The Yankees have a 2-1 lead. Warren deals. Foul the other way. That one is driven to left field and deep. And that ball is gone. A home run just over the wall and left for Moore. And it's a 2-2 game.
just thinking Adam Warren really was finding his groove. 4 strikeouts in a row. The slider had reemerged. But this looks like a curveball, and it just drops down and in. And Tyler Moore just drops the bat head. It was a line drive. The only question, would it get enough height to get over the wall right off the top of it and bounces into the crowd?
Sounds like a broken back ground ball to Drew. And he gets Espinosa, and that will do it. But the second home run by the Nationals in the game, another solo shot, ties this one up. It's 2-2 after 4 on Yes. So we'll see them as well. We thank Bob. We go to the 5th inning. It's 2-2. Yankees and the Nats. Bigelow T scoreboard shows the Yankees with 4 hits and the Nationals with 3. Yankees pitching unable to keep the Nationals in the ballpark in these 2 games. 4 home runs yesterday and 2 today. And Didi Gregorius lost a high fly ball to right field. Taylor makes the catch, 1 away.
Well, these are the type of innings National League pitchers love if you can execute. Gregorius' first pitch swinging, easy out. We have Adam Warren, the pitcher, coming up. It's a little easier in the National League for pitchers.
Line and caught by Zimmerman. And Warren's probably thinking, really? 2 outs.
Well, Adam Warren, his first major league at bat was a strikeout. The second one, a looping line drive over to first base. Zimmerman makes the play.
1 on Gardner. Gardner's 1 for 2. Single to right to open the game, came around to score, and then a fly ball to left. 0-2. Good 0-2 pitch, moved him off the plate.
The velocity starting to get a little bit better too for Zimmerman here in the middle of the game. Only 55 pitches with 2 outs in the 5th.
Missed outside.
Zimmerman wanted it. He was walking off the mound. He threw a pitch earlier that he got a called strike pretty much on the same location. He doesn't get it this time with 2 strikes.
And Gardner strikes out, and the Yankees go down in order. 6 in a row were tied by Zimmerman. We're halfway through. It's 2-2. Brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. It has not been a good road trip for the Yankees, not including today. 2-6, 235 average, averaging 3.5 runs a game, 9 home runs in 8 games. And the ERA, that's one of the reasons they're losing, 5.45. Yesterday, you score 6 runs. That should be enough to win a game. Jordan Zimmerman swings and misses. Ground ball is short. Gregorius gets a nice hop. 1 out.
Jordan Zimmerman, not one of these guys to Cadillac it down the line on a Bigelow T scoreboard. 2-2 here in the bottom of the 5th. Zimmerman getting down the line, pretty good shape. Takes it seriously right here. Rolls over his slider. He's not going to Cadillac it. I like his attitude, Michael. He gets on the mound. Here it is. You're going to beat me or you're going to get me, whatever. It's not going to take long. Let's play ball.
Span shows bunt, takes a strike. Yesterday I interpreted a rule about being hit by a batted ball and you're out, and I misspoke and said that the base is a safe haven, and it's really not. It's only a safe haven on an infield fly rule, and you're at second base and the ball happens to hit you, then you're not out. So I just wanted to clear that up for people. Even if McCann was standing on third base and got hit while he's standing in fair territory, you have to be in fair territory. If you're on the base, you're out. If you get hit with a batted ball, that's fair. Kind of read the rule book, and there's certain things that are a little unclear, John. Like if the ball passes a fielder, then you could get hit by it. And this is the play we're talking about. So it did not pass the fielder. If it had passed the fielder, then even if you get hit, then he's fine. Now it hit the base in that shot. It did hit him, and we actually brought it up because it came so close to hitting him that he would have been out. The fielder would have, the batter would have gotten a hit, but he would have been out.
Now, in thinking about it and watching that replay, you wonder why he didn't go into foul territory. They always teach you to take your lead in foul territory. As he went back to the bag, he was on that side of third base, and then he turned into the field of play.
Right. I mean, there were a lot of questions on that, John. Why didn't he
go on 2 outs?
2 outs.
Nationals not really known as a team that steals a lot of bases. Denard Span Kenny's a stolen 3 has not been thrown out yet. Typically they are not a running ball club. Ian Desmond in the driver's seat. Couple of home runs right center field in these 2 games. Likes the ball out over the plate.
See if Desmond gets the green light, and he does. Popped it up. McCann makes the play for the second out.
Think about this lineup now that Bryce Harper has been thrown out of the game. Everything changes for Brian McCann behind the plate. Adam Warren out on the mound. You pitch Escobar a little bit differently, knowing you don't have Harper waiting in that on-deck circle.
Nice scoop by McCann. Toward first, not in time. Teixeira pointed to the dugout right away as to take a look. We'll take a look first. This is on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Tri-State Mercedes-Benz dealers. What do you think, John?
I think he got his arm. Nice pick by McCann, and then he comes up quickly. Good throw. He thinks he's got him.
If he gets the arm, John, he's out.
Yep.
Question is, did he get the arm? It looks like he might, right? It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, Joe's going to challenge. Usually you overturn it with overwhelming evidence. I'm not sure, John, that's overwhelming.
Well, you wonder if
they might have gotten her, but I'm not sure they can.
Wonder if there's a different angle, maybe a little more conclusive. Here we'll take another look. Tough to tell from that angle as well.
And the left leg of Chris Siegel kind of blocks it. Did he get it?
I got him.
And he's out. They overturned it. And they overturned it quickly as well. So a good challenge. The Yankees keep their challenge now. At the end of the inning is Denard Span picked off on a beautiful throw and great tag by Teixeira. That's moving to the 6th. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Benjamin Moore. Paint like no other. For a store near you, go to benjaminmoore.com. By your Tri-State BMW centers. And by People's United Bank N.A., the way you bank, but way better. This is such a beautiful city to walk around. Great walking around city. The great sights, so historic. John, you went to college here. It must have been awesome.
It was great, and I was actually looking at that shot. I used to go running from GW down to the Lincoln Memorial over to the Washington Monument and then back to campus. Just a great place to get out and see all the sights.
Awesome. Count 0-1 on Beltran. Game is tied at 2 here in the 6th. And that's on the Benjamin Moore scoreboard. Grounded up the middle. Desmond gets Beltran. How about this in the GW Hall of Fame? Got the Padres cap there, John Flaherty. Very, very cool. Wow, that is very young, John.
I want you to pay attention. See the eyes right there? They're a little squinty.
They're intimidating is what they are.
You know what? That was an early morning. We went out to the Best of the West tournament out in California, and that was an early wake-up call for team pictures. Not a whole lot of sleep the night before. So the eyes were a little slanted.
That wasn't an intimidation look. That was just puffy eyes.
That was like, just get me through this picture and get me to batting practice.
You kind of like your older son there a little bit.
Brian?
Yeah. Who was up here yesterday.
Logan was up here yesterday.
Logan, I'm sorry. Nice backhand stab there. The long throw. And they get Teixeira. Definitely Logan.
Desmond flashing a little leather here, Michael. You talked about his 11 errors, but making some nice plays going to his left, that one to his right, and strong throw. And we're talking about GW and GW Baseball, the Atlantic 10 tournament going on down here. George Washington hosting it for the first time, and Fordham, your Fordham Rams made it. So I wish them well. GW lost their first game today. Going to the losers bracket now.
Are they supposed to be good?
No, I think they were the 6th seed, and I think Fordham's right down there with them too. So they're going to have to make an improbable run.
Both schools usually have pretty good baseball teams. Also, Yankee president Randy Levine, a graduate of George Washington University. And he really helps with fundraising for all the sports programs. He does a lot of great things.
I was just thinking, Randy doesn't get a lot of credit for it, nor does he want it, but he's pretty much revamped that whole athletic department and kind of gotten the budget up to where it needs to be to compete at the higher end of the Atlantic 10. So good things going on.
So McCann works the walk, and that'll bring up Headley, who was struck out twice.
Headley wants to stay away from that slider down and in. That's been the pitch that Zimmerman has given him trouble with. Looks like he's not picking up the spin on the baseball. When you're having trouble with one pitch, you got to make sure you hit the fastball. You got a good one to hit. Strike one and did not take a pass at it.
There's a base hit to right field for Headley as McCann advances to second. So a little conference between Ramos and Zimmerman. First and second, 2 outs. A 2-2 game here in the 6th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Stephen Drew takes outside. Two and one. Yankees with 5 hits, the Nationals with 4. Drew tonight is 0 for 2. Last night, Steven picked up a couple of hits in 4 at-bats. A big 2-run single in the 4th inning, and then just a single in the 6th that didn't drive in a runner. So a big opportunity for him right here in the count, 2 and 1. Opportunity to break the tie. Driven down the right field line, and hooks foul.
Stephen Drew just a little bit too quick, kind of surprised that the Nationals and Zimmerman came inside. Playing right to Stephen Drew's strength. And we remember last night in one of those at-bats you were talking about, Michael, Drew going the other way to drive in a few. Did that on a 2-strike count. We'll see if he has that same approach here.
swings and misses, and Zimmerman gets Drew to end the threat. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We will go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 2-2. Sports news and highlights, including analysis of the NBA and NHL playoffs. Don't miss Fox Sports Live tonight at 11. You can see it on Fox Sports 1, or stay tuned for the simulcast of Fox Sports Live immediately following Yankees coverage right here on Yes. Yunel Escobar gets a fresh count. Remember, he was at the plate when Denard Span got picked off first. You see the Benjamin Moore scoreboard, bottom of the 6th inning. It's a 2-2 game. On 1. Escobar walked in the first and struck out looking in the third. Grounded to third. Headley. 1 away. Here's Michael Taylor. It would have been Bryce Harper, but Harper got tossed out, arguing a first pitch strike with home plate umpire Marvin Hudson. Now, in examining the whole replay, which is way too long to even show, he argued and then he got right back in the box. At that time, Marvin Hudson turned to the Washington Nationals dugout and started barking at them. That's when Harper stepped out again. And as he stepped out again, then Hudson said, "Get back in the box." And Harper looked like he mocked him just a little bit and then got thrown out.
Now, in fairness to Marvin Hudson, it seemed like Matt Williams was giving him a hard time. Here's the pitch. Doesn't like it, has a few words, and reacts. Now I think Matt Williams is giving it to him. Hudson reacts.
And then Harper steps out.
Now you watch a cute little way that he comes back into the box, and I think that bothered Marvin Hudson. Right. He tells him to get back in the box. I'm with you, Michael. You got to let that one go a little bit.
Fly ball to center field. Young back. Makes the play. And as I said when I first said it, John, I want to reiterate, I don't think that you get a chance to abuse an umpire. You don't get a chance to consistently curse at an umpire, no matter what kind of big star you are. But it kind of like Marvin Hudson had rabbit ears just a little bit. And for those that think stars don't get preferential treatment, check out other sports.
They do.
And also, let's remember, everybody, this is the entertainment business. It's not a church. It's the entertainment industry. And you just threw out one of the biggest stars. Not like he was going nuts on you. But Marvin Hudson knows exactly what he said, and just getting the sense a lot of people disagree. But the 0-1, grounded to third, knocked down by Headley, and a nice scoop by Teixeira to retire Zimmerman. And the Nationals go down in order 1-2-3, and we're going to the 7th inning. They got a good one here at Nationals Park. It's a 2-2 game right here on Yes. Been having some trouble with his throwing, and Mark Teixeira saves him an error. This replay brought to you by New York Presbyterian, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Amazing things are happening here. A good first baseman will save his infielders a lot of errors throughout the year. We go to the 7th. Chris Young leads off against Jordan Zimmerman. The first pitch outside, 1-0.
You know what you love about that replay? Mark Teixeira keeping that glove down low at the beginning, and they say you can always come up, but it's tougher to go down. Made that play look easy.
Young with a fly ball to center. Span puts it away. 1 down. What do you do? We don't have anybody on the on-deck circle that we see, John. Do you pinch hit for Warren?
You obviously see what Gregorius does right here. I saw Slade Heathcott rumbling around down there by the bat rack. Adam Warren's going to come out on deck. Garrett Jones has a bat in his hand.
He's thrown 82 pitches so far. David Carpenter is up. Grounded in the hole, backhanded by Desmond. The throw, not in time. Infield single for Gregorius, his second hit of the night. And now maybe a send up. Yep. Warren to bunt.
Third base coach Joe Espada is going to have a talk with him. Gregorius just slaps it the other way. Desmond going to his right. Didn't have a whole lot on the throw, and Gregorius able to beat it out. Nationals waiting to see if they're going to challenge that call.
And looks like they are. Let's see what our replay shows.
Why is Gregorius so far inside the line? He was on the grass, running down to first base.
What do you think, John? It's so close.
Fans here in Washington, D.C. reacting on the play on the big board, thinking that he is out. Wow. Now there, it looks like he might have had him.
So they're not settling this one as quickly as they did the Yankee challenge. We assume that Randy Knorr, the bench coach, is acting as manager with Matt Williams working somewhere behind the scenes after being ejected. Ball's not in the glove yet. So, boy, is that banged up. Kind of looks like a tie on that one. Out.
Well, you wondered if there was going to be enough evidence to overturn the call.
Now they're going to let Warren hit with 2 outs and nobody on. 2-2 game. So 2 successful challenges, one by the Yankees and one by the Nationals. (0-2), 83 pitches for Zimmerman.
The pitch count still in good shape for Zimmerman. He will be batting 4th in the bottom half of the 7th. His spot comes up.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2-2 game, top of the 7th. Well, you know that Kershaw and Hernandez and Hamels and Greinke, they're all considered top flight pitchers, but is Jordan Zimmerman flying under the radar? Lowest ERA in baseball since 2011. He's got the 4th lowest. Grounded up the middle. Desmond. Warren has not embarrassed himself in the play. Yankees go down in order. Game to 6.5, 7th inning stretch time, 2-2. as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is a 2-2 game. Now let's take a look at the game summary, which is brought to you by Nissan. 2-5-0 and 2-4-0 for the Nats. Beltran an RBI double, McCann a sac fly. That's the Yankees scoring. A couple of home runs for the Nationals, and Bryce Harper ejected in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
You know, the scouting report about Adam Warren, I talked about a pressure start and that the Yankees going in the wrong direction, need to kind of settle the ship a little bit. Jack and Bob are 100% right. Adam Warren has thrown a nice ball game here. See if he can get through 7 innings.
Pitch to Ramos is a strike. Grounded to 3rd, out of Headley. And he loses his balance and falls down. And Ramos reaches.
We'll see how they score this. Remember, there's a hitting streak on the line, 19 games. Headley a little in between hop off of his glove. Play right there, I'm thinking Headley has to make. Another look on Yesmo. Right off the heel of the glove.
I don't know why they're taking so long with that call. Don't you think that's an E5?
Well, I think they're taking so long because they have a home player with a 19-game hitting streak. Official score here at Nationals Park. If that's going to come into play, I would agree with you. This is pretty much a play that Headley should make in between hop.
And it is an error. And for Chase Headley, that's his 9th error. And he was spectacular last year after being acquired from the Padres, and this year he's had some throwing mistakes. He's made some nice plays too, but he has made some careless errors there. And now in a tie ball game, that's a big runner to let on.
First thought right there, you think back to the pregame show, and Jack Curry mentioned that the Yankees have to play a clean ball game tonight to kind of get this win and get back to New York after a tough road trip. And right there, you wonder if that error leading off the 7th inning will come back and cost the Yankees.
Three and one to Moore. Justin Wilson came in, got a big double play off the bat of Bryce Harper last night. Three and two. Moore had a home run his last time up, going for home run number 4 on the season. Matt Grace is up for the Nationals. Zimmerman might come up this inning. So a walk to Moore. And now 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Not saying it happens, John, but sometimes you make an error behind a pitcher, especially a younger one, it unnerves them and gets them out of what they're doing well.
No, there's a mental letdown, but I don't expect that with Adam Warren. I mean, this guy's more of a veteran now. He's been around the block a little bit. Larry Rothschild going to come out and have a little talk. Probably a little strategy session. Is Espinosa going to be bunting? Who might they pinch hit? Ugla is on deck. A lot to talk about with Larry Rothschild out on the mound.
So the conference is done. And here is Espinosa. Yankees expecting the bunt. They're in at the corners. And it's lined and caught by Headley. What a play by Headley. So he makes an error to start the inning and makes a sparkler there for the first out.
Espinosa squares around and kind of stabs at it. The line drive in foul territory. A nice reaction and change of direction by Chase Headley. Well into foul territory to make that play. You see the stab with the bat head. Mistake by Espinosa, and Headley makes a nice play to capitalize on it.
And now here's Dan Ugla to pinch hit for the pitcher. And he swings at the first pitch and pops it up right side. And Beltran cannot get there. Carlos does not move as well as he used to. He's had knee problems, and that's certainly no excuse, but you would think that that's a play that has to be made.
Well, the ball was up there for a long time, and then the effort at the end wasn't exactly aggressive. Runs a long way, and just kind of gives up on the play.
So 0-2 on Ugla. A little interesting choice here, bringing up Ugla when you've got Wilmer Defoe, top-rated prospect, called up yesterday, got a hit in his first time up, and he's a switch hitter. But they go with Ugla.
Ugla had a good at bat last night to walk against Betances. I heard Matt Williams, before the game, manager of the Nationals, talking about that at bat and how it impressed him. But I'm with you. Defoe came up there last night, laid out a nice line drive from the left side, a switch hitter. Going with the veteran.
Two on, 2-2 game, 2-2 count. Two-two. 3-2 on Ugla.
And that's what Ugla did last night. He laid off some tough breaking balls that did not miss by much. It was a good slider, middle down. Ugla did not offer. A bad pitch from Adam Warren. Usually he gets swing and a miss. Ugla does not offer.
Still 3-2.
Adam Warren, give it your best pitch of the night right here. Your 98th pitch. Could be your last one. Denard Span on deck. You have your lefty ready in the bullpen.
And a walk. So now the bases are loaded. And it all started with the error by Headley. So Joe Girardi walks to the mound, and he will make the Verizon call to the bullpen. Warren pitched well, kind of undermined by his defense, both Headley and Beltran. night, yes, we'll televise Masahiro Tanaka's rehab start with AAA affiliate Scranton Wilkes-Barre as the Yankees ace looks to work his way back to the rotation. Now, coverage begins at 6:30. Then stay tuned for all the action versus the Durham Bulls. Now, Tanaka's scheduled for 45 pitches, but you get a chance to see Yankee prospects like Rob Refsnyder, so that should be a fun time. And it starts at 6:30 tomorrow on Yes. You'll get a close look at the first rehab start for Masahiro Tanaka. Justin Wilson has come on, and he will face Denard Span with the bases loaded. One man out. 2-2 game, bottom of the seventh.
Well, Wilson came into last night's ball game, got a double play by Bryce Harper. Would love to do the same thing here. The Yankees playing double play depth. You see the numbers. 1-0, 5.25 ERA. Another good start from Adam Warren.
The 0-1. Span has faced Wilson twice in his career. He's got 2 hits against him.
Wilson known more as a power pitcher, that mid-90s fastball. Threw some good sliders last night to Harper.
This was the move to make because Span against lefties is 2 for 21 this year.
Well, you see those numbers, you're thinking left-handed breaking ball going away from the left-handed hitter.
Chop and past a diving Gregorius. 1 run scores. They will hold up more. It's an RBI single for Span. And the Nationals lead 3-2.
Well, I mentioned that big breaking ball because Wilson doesn't really have one. We're going to take a look at the pitch by pitch. Wilson against Span. First pitch, fastball, swing and a miss. Another fastball misses inside. A third fastball down. A nice play by McCann. Fourth one out over the plate. Just slaps it the other way and finds a hole. Wilson, not your typical lefty with that big sweeping breaking ball, and Span takes advantage of slapping one out of the reach of Gregorius.
There's Desmond. Well, this inning is where this inning is because of poor defense. The error by Headley, his 9th of the year, and then the inexplicable no play by Carlos Beltran. And that would have retired Uggla. That would have been the second out.
And your infield doesn't have to play in double play depth. Dangerous pitch right here. 4-19 with the bases loaded and a hitter's count 2-0 against a lefty who throws a lot of fastballs away. We've seen Desmond drive a few to right center.
Strike. 2-1.
Fastballs in the same spot, down and in. Identical pitches, 96 miles an hour, both of them right at the knees, right on the inside corner.
Grounded. So the Nationals lead 3-2 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Adam Warren pitched a pretty good ball game. And Desmond chases and swings and misses for the second out.
Big out right there. Fastball way up out of the zone. Desmond does Wilson a favor right there.
Here's Yunel Escobar. Escobar 0 for 2 with a walk. Want to know.
Joe Girardi with that off day tomorrow had some options in the bullpen to bring in some other right-handers if he wants to. He's sticking with Wilson. Rogers getting loose.
John, I really believe the only right-hander he trusts is Betances. Carpenter gives up that home run yesterday. Pinder's a kid. Esmail Rogers has given up some big hits of late.
If you're a big league manager, you can look at matchups and all those other numbers that you get, but sometimes you just have to trust your gut on what your best matchup is.
2-1. And remember, he used Betances for 2 innings yesterday. Two one. 2-2. Bases loaded with Nats. The 2-2. Grounded to Headley. He'll throw across the diamond. And he gets Escobar for the final out. For 1 run, unearned. On 1 hit, 1 big error, and the bases are left loaded. In the Yankee Stadium on Friday, and the starting pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios, the fastest, most reliable internet. Colby Lewis will go for the Rangers. Got a good record. And Michael Pineda, 5-1, 3.31. We begin our coverage at 6 p.m. Yes, game time will be right around 7:07. Hyundai scoreboard shows the Nationals with a 3-2 lead. And a new pitcher for Washington. They had pinch hit for Zimmerman. It's Matt Grace. We saw Matt yesterday. He actually got the win. He pitched the 10th inning. He walked Teixeira, but had a nice play by Span, robbing Gardner of an extra base hit. Struck out Young, walked Teixeira, and then struck out Brian McCann. No, it was Murphy who struck out.
Well, everybody around the Nationals organization say they like their closer in Storer, and it's getting the ball to him. It's been somewhat of an issue early on this year. Grace trying to be that bridge here in the 8th inning.
One and two on Gardner. Gardner's 1 for 3. Single to open up the game and scored a run. Yankees scored both of their runs in the first inning. Nationals scored a run in the first, a run in the fourth, and a run in the bottom of the 7th. And now lead 3-2. And Gardner swings and misses the strikeout.
Gardner did not look comfortable that entire at bat. Looked like he was having a tough time picking up the baseball. Waves of the slider down and away in the dirt.
Here's Beltran, 1 for 3. RBI double to right center in the first to extend his hitting streak to 11 straight. Now he's batting left-handed, now righty against Grace. They played Beltran dead pull. Escobar deep and close to the line at third. And a little of that is late innings guarding against the extra base hit. Rounded to short, Desmond. Two away. That's going to bring up Teixeira. Chances up with Rogers. Rano pitching carefully to Teixeira with lefty swinging McCann on deck.
Yeah, just staying away from him. Teixeira hit that home run last night against the lefty Gio Gonzalez.
Mark was tossing his bat away as if that was ball 4. Ball 4. So Teixeira with a 2-out walk, and that'll bring up McCann. Bottom of the 8th inning. at Camden Yards, and Seattle leads the Orioles 4-0. Atlanta 2, Tampa Bay 1. It's in the bottom of the 7th in Atlanta. Conference on the mound. And Steve McCaddy, the pitching coach. Texas leads Boston 2-1. That's in the top of the 7th inning in Fenway. So hasn't been a good night so far for the American League East. You get all these scores, get all the highlights with the WB Mason postgame. Here on Yes after the final out, get a recap of the key moments from tonight's finale. Plus, Meredith Moragovitz gets the clubhouse reaction. And Joe Girardi's manager's report. It's all coming up on the WB Mason Yankees postgame only on Yes.
Pinch runner here.
That's going to be Slade Heathcott making his major league debut. So they've given Slade number 55. So 3-0 on McCann with Headley on deck. Heathcott leads off first. And there's a strike. In Scranton, 9 attempts for Heathcott, and he was successful 5 of them at stolen bases. Did he go? Yes, he did. Said Jim Joyce. So now Heathcott will get a running start. 3-2 with 2 outs.
Yeah, just make sure that the pitcher goes to the plate. You got to look at McCann in the check swing. Jim Joyce, third base umpire, said he went. Now they're going to hold Heathcott on again. Get a good secondary lead. Get a good jump. You're running with 2 outs. Try to score in a double. Brian McCann shoots a gap.
Foul back. Grace sets. Heathcott goes on a walk. So now the tying run has moved into scoring position. 2 walks by Grace, and that brings up Headley. So Headley with an opportunity now to atone for the error that he made in the bottom of the 7th inning. Out of 37,648. A lot of Yankee fans is a "Let's Go Yankee" chant, attempting to be drowned out by the national fans. 1-1. Grounded to short. Desmond flips to second, and that will do it. Here in the 8th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 3-2 Nats. Let's take a look at the T-Mobile Game Changer.
Well, T-Mobile Game Changer, Jordan Zimmerman gave up a couple of runs early in the first, and then he got tough. A good slider to Headley. Good curveball to Carlos Beltran. Headley again, the slider down and in. Elevate the fastball when he needs to. Drew swings and misses at that curveball. Zimmerman started off slow but finished strong.
Yankees will go to Esmiel Rogers to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. Garrett Jones takes over at first base. Teixeira got pinch run for. This will be the 13th game for Rogers. A hit per inning and 9 walks, 21 strikeouts. And he'll face Michael Taylor. And Heathcott moves in center field to replace Chris Young. Monday scoreboard 3-2 Nats. Slow roller, third base, barehanded by Headley. Throw to first. Got him. 1 down.
Headley goes to that bare hand awfully quick. He makes the decision right away as he charges, gets a nice hop. Bare hand, good grip, strong throw. Thought I might have had a little more time to go to the glove, do the exchange. He decided to go with the bare hand, makes a nice play.
Strike to Zimmerman. Now, it's important who's coming up for the Yankees in the 9th. So, with the switches, Jones is penciled into the number 7 spot, vacated by Chris Young. And Rogers still batting 9th. And Heathcott is batting in Teixeira's spot, number 3 in the lineup. 1-1. count 3-1 on Zimmerman. Ramos on deck. His 19-game hitting streak on the line. He's 0 for 3. 3-1. 3-2.
The one thing we've seen from Marvin Hudson, the home plate umpire, the borderline strike is going to the pitcher. A lot of hitters. And some interesting reactions tonight.
And the pitch. Fouled off in the seats. One away, bottom of the 8th inning. Nationals 3, Yankees 2. Second game of this 2-game set. Nationals won in 10 innings, 8-6 last night on Zimmerman's 2-run home run off the right field foul pole. 3-2. Zimmerman works a walk. He played with passion and wore the pinstripes with pride. This Sunday night, fan favorite Bernie Williams is honored in front of the Bronx faithful. So come to Yes at 7 for full coverage of the stadium ceremony as the Yankees retire as number 51. Don't miss Bernie Williams night, Sunday night at 7, only on Yes. Ramos popped to second, grounded to short, reached on an E5 to lead off the 7th, came on to score what is now the difference in the game, an unearned run. And as we mentioned, he has his 19-game hitting streak on the line, and that's the longest active streak in the majors.
The Yankees giving him pretty much the entire right side of the infield, a huge hole between first and second. This one's a slap one the other way.
One. 2-1. There's a strike on the outside corner, 2-2. .304, 2 home runs and 20 runs batted in for Ramos. Zimmerman leads off first, held there by Jones. The 2-2. 3-2. Payoff is foul back. Runner goes. 3-2. Is swung and missed. Ball gets away from McCann. And moving to second is Zimmerman. So a strikeout of Ramos. And a stolen base for Zimmerman. So unless a long rally this inning or extra innings, Ramos might have had his hitting streak snapped. Of course, if there's bottom of the ninth as well. Tyler Moore. Home run in the fourth inning. He walked in the seventh. And a fly ball to center in the second. So an insurance run at second base for the Nats with 2 outs. Rogers taking a lot of time between pitches. (1-0). First base umpire Chris Siegel said he did not check his swing, so 1-1.
Really a huge run out at second base. Drew Storen, the closer for the Nationals, having a good year. There's the replay from the side.
Two and one. It has not been a good road trip for the Yankees. They won the first game against Tampa Bay, lost the next 3. They lost 2 out of 3 to Kansas City, and now in danger of losing both here in D.C. And if it wasn't for CC Sabathia, it could be a lot worse. He won both games. Two. Tonight does end the stretch of an inordinate amount of games on the road. And if the Yankees can get past that part of the schedule and still be in first place, they've got to feel pretty good about that. Have you ever seen Rogers work this slow?
So slow, and it looks like he's having trouble with pitch selection. Clearly not comfortable. I think he also realizes a big spot here with that runner at second base in a 1-run game.
Swing and a miss. So he strikes out Moore and leaves that run stranded at second. Coming up in the 9th inning, the Yankees will try to make up a 3-2 deficit. Can they do it? Yankees Baseball on Gas is brought to you in part by TriStateGMC.com, by IMG Academy Private School and Youth Sports Camps in Bradenton, Florida, and by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2015 models. Well, we go to the 9th inning. I wonder if they're watching in that house. Drew Storen will try to close it for the Nationals. He's had 11 saves and 12 opportunities. And Stephen Drew will lead off here in the 9th. And a strike. The 0-1. This team does not play Drew to pull like every team in the American League with 3 infielders on the right side. Two and one.
Well, Storen, a guy who has had 43 saves in 2011 here in Washington, has gone through some difficulties after that, but back as a closer and having a good year.
3-1 to Drew. Yankees trying to get the tying run on base. Garrett Jones is on deck. And the pitch. Fly ball right field. Taylor is there. 1 out, so Drew 0 for 4 tonight. Now to bring up Garrett Jones. Garrett has shaved off the mustache that he had. Looking to change his luck. 154, just one ribby. And this is a power hitter who's had success in the past. Yankees have not seen it yet. And there's a strike from Storen.
You watch Storen work, and he can drop that slider in there for strike one, but has a little hesitation in his delivery. Throw the timing off of some hitters. Drew had a good fastball to hit, just got in on him a little bit.
0-2 on Garrett Jones.
This delivery comes up and kind of hesitates a little bit right there and then delivers down the hill. Hitter is always trying to get the timing of a pitcher's delivery. There's a little hesitation there that can throw you off.
One and two. Jones swings and misses for the second out.
Jones having a tough time. The backdoor slider, anticipating the break middle in and never gets there.
So here's Gregorius. He's 1 for 3. Now, you have Alex Rodriguez on the bench, who has 10 home runs. And you're electing to go with Gregorius here.
Well, Alex coming on deck to hit in the pitcher's spot.
But he might not ever
get in at bat.
If you'd used Alex here, you could have followed that up with Perella, the pinch hit for the pitcher. One. Well, Alex will get up as Gregorius lines a single to left. That brings up A-Rod.
Well, not a whole lot of history here with Storen. Only one at bat, 0 for 1. I think if you're Alex Rodriguez, I know he's probably been in the back getting loose in the batting cage underneath the dugout, behind the dugout. Storen throwing a lot of sliders.
Alex had one at bat yesterday, struck out looking. And a strike. Has never been a great career pinch hitter because, hey, he's played every day. 17 chances. The one home run did come this year, and that was in Boston. And he said it's a very tough job. Chases a high fastball 0-2.
Well, the job gets a little tougher when you chase up out of the zone with 95. Think back to Alex Rodriguez in Kansas City, hammering one to right center field. We've seen the ball carry well to right center. Storen has thrown a lot of sliders. Will he throw a slider? Will he elevate another fastball?
The 0-2. Strike 3, inside corner. A-Rod down looking. He throws his head back in disgust and talks things over with Marvin Hudson as the Yankees get swept by the Nationals tonight by a score of 3-2. Well, Hudson's been a pitcher's umpire all night.
Off the plate, And Alex Rodriguez can't believe it, but you said it, Michael. We've been talking about every borderline pitch tonight has gone to the pitcher. A lot of reactions from the hitters, not getting the close calls. Alex Rodriguez can't believe it.
Well, the Yankees just scored 2. They get victimized by shoddy defense, and they lose the game by a score of 3-2, wasting a good performance by Adam Warren. The Yankees have a day off tomorrow. They'll start a homestand on Friday. But we'll come back and we'll break this game down. Again, the Washington Nationals beat the New York Yankees by a score of 3-2.